Greetings, dear ones. This is Saturday, the last day of February of 2026. And although I was planning the regular revolutionary revelations to be moved from yesterday to today, this is a little bit different. The theme, the collective consciousness theme has been abuse, assault, attack upon the innocents. And those of you who are familiar with my work know that we trace that back to our very own childhoods and how that each of those aspects appeared. And they did. Even in the best of circumstances, there still is, it still goes on. It may not look very obvious. It may not seem like it on the surface because we are so used to it. We take it for granted that parents can speak to their children, treat their children, neglect their children to the extent that we do because it's been done, and that's how it always is. And children are the least, the most marginalized population, I would say, of all. And that is the human game, is to design, which you have, the particular types of experiences in the form of woundings, because there is no other time, no other place, no other situation where we experience that, whether it's fear or harm or sorrow or even anger, as intensely, as purely, as pervasively as when we are children. Because, as I've said before, it happens throughout our entire system. We experience it on every level: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic, simultaneously. And the extent and depth is never again as severe as when you are a child. Because, not only because your whole system is open and absolutely fragile and tender and unshielded, unfiltered, but because this is coming from the two people that should be the last on the planet that would be making you feel this. And while we see such a high level of abuse out in public, whether it's in the Epstein files, whether it's in the attacks of one country to another, of course we have the one we woke up to today in Iran from the United States and Israel, but there have been recent attacks from Pakistan to Afghanistan, to us towards Cuba. There have been attacks all over the world and within many countries of the leaders of just churches, etc., etc. If you watch the wide global picture, it is very apparent and getting exaggeratedly worse, exponentially worse daily. And the purpose of this is, it's no accident. Everyone's kind of watching what's going on from this level, but on a soul basis, these are each invitations for us in our horror, in our pain, in our anger, in our fear, to explore as deeply as we can how we ourselves experience that, process it, transmute it. And if you can go to deeper levels, usually that has to be with someone. I know my clients work at the deepest level, the root of the root, because of the process that's been created over decades. and they are able to transfigure, metamorphosize those aspects, those experiences, and thus literally changing the DNA, their lineage, the way in which whatever cultures show up in their heritage. It changes the species itself all the way down to human nature, because we can't do this from a headspace. So we are being catalyzed, triggered, poked, just thrown in the most exaggerated experiences current day, to be able to change this very, very deeply. Policy, leaders, laws are not going to change these things. It is very apparent in some of the individual interactions, whether it's among family members, whether it's among community members, whether it's here on Facebook or in so many other places. Those aspects of human nature are within all of us. And when they are not healed, we act and move from them. So the invitation this week is kind of following up on the last several revelations, Revolutionary Revelations episodes, with why don't they see, how can they do this? I still, no matter what you did to me, I still care, I still love you, I still want you. And this is what children feel. And so we have such a severe situation around the world going on that is poking straight into the ways in which we individually experience that. And in the moment, of course, and in a setting such as this, we cannot explore deeply. Hopefully in one of the upcoming courses that I'll be teaching, those small groups can do a great deal. Today, however, there's many different beings and energetics coming forward to answer, to assist, to bring unseen and behind the scenes, let's say, behind the scenes energetically, spiritually, specific mathematics, if you will, universal mathematics, specific universal energies, very, very core earth energies. There's been a lot of what could be in a grand classification magic energies coming forward this week. Very ancient earth, land energetics and beings, somewhat similar to brownies, the energies, the spirits of the trees and forests, many things. So all of this is going to be in our container today, and anything, if you're listening live, anything that you've been noticing, any helpers that you are aware of, either energetically, spiritually, physically, historically, myth, legend, movie, all of the things that kind of jump out to us are offering. They are coming forward in a given time, especially if you see them 3 or more times. Or it's just like every time I turn around, I see a frog, for instance, or the mention of a frog, or the image of a frog. That means that frog energy is coming forward for you and offering all of the characteristics and all of the aspects surrounding that particular animal teacher. So this week, I'm going to be naming some of those. I'm also going to ask the plant and tree and flower masters through the Young Living essential oils that I've been utilizing for 26 years. And their wisdom is always not only awe-inspiring, but It literally is jaw-dropping. My clients at the end of a session, when I'm asking for the message from them, it's literally we're both like cackling because the information coming forth, the message is so on target and so on point with what we just worked with. So we are going to invite them as well today. And mainly, I'll write about this. And again, if you are experiencing, if this is triggering or touching into or catalyzing things in your own personal, interpersonal experience, please reach out. I'm doing a lot of 90-minute alchemical alignment sessions, which can just bring some not only adjustment, but the energetics that are precisely right for you, the energetics that respond to the exact challenge you're having right now, come through and answer that, along with potentially those that are on offering the entire collective consciousness. So we have land masses, we have beings. Again, I'm going to name those. And first I'm going to ask for a message from the plant and tree and flower masters. And I invite you to just settle in. This is, just transmissions, some very strong transmissions. I'm not sure of all of them because I was guided to do this at the last minute in this way. And I do know that one of the strongest human energetics that are coming forth is kindness. And being kind, and what kind entails. Kind to yourself, kind to those around you, kind to the land and wildlife and critters, kind to what is going on in the world. That doesn't mean to excuse it. That doesn't mean to push it away. Quite the contrary. Anytime you separate or push away or squash or suppress any feelings, they are buried alive. And that means that somewhere within you, they are going to be causing a detrimental effect. Again, this is the wider soul purpose of all of this. We're not just here as victims. We're not just here suffering. We are not just here to get through it all. We are not just here to watch the world blow up, which it won't. We are here to participate. We are here purposefully, very, very dedicatedly and committedly to be here at this time, to contribute, to participate, to put our soul self into this mix, this huge alchemical mix of not just Earth's history, but galactic history and other worlds' history. All of them are interfacing at once, which is why this is truly an unprecedented, unheard of, unattempted level leap of evolution that has ever been done. So, hey you, honor and gratitude and awe for you being here, like really. So, and I mean here on the planet at this time. Thank you if you're here attending live or listen to this later, because that means that you've chosen to consciously put your energy in a mix, in a field that is being created right now. And we are also today linked into multiple other very, very advanced spiritual groups that I'm connected to and that have events going on this weekend and are doing some insanely profound work energetically, spiritually, physically. So those are here with us as well. Yes. So let us ask the oil masters. In the meantime, I invite you to just find your seat. And by that I mean really feel your buttocks on the chair or couch or floor, pillow, whatever you're sitting on. And do your best to find your sits bones, which are those bones right in the middle of the buttocks. And when you can do so, you kind of maybe have to rock around a little bit or pull out a little bit of tissue surrounding them. It has nothing to do with how much tissue is there. It just, if you move a little bit without rocking over and pulling up kind of your cheekbone here, or your cheek tissue here, but just sitting flat and just sliding it out a little bit, and that just exposes the sits bones. So, and when you do that, it makes it a little bit easier to sit on them, which allows the spine to then adjust, and more energy, both from all of the energetics we're talking about, all of the earth energies, can combine in your spine to be able to feed and nourish and nurture your system, physically, energetically, potentially emotionally as well. So once you're seated on those sits bones and your feet are on the floor, hopefully your legs are at right angles, and I invite everyone to just kind of roll your shoulders back and allow your shoulder blades in the back to just come together a little bit. You don't have to force them, but what happens is you open up your chest, you open up your lungs, and the potential, excuse me, for even more flow, even more receptivity. So as you're doing that and adjusting, and again, nothing you need do, and I really, really encourage you to, if you're a practiced meditator or if you've learned some method of meditating, I'm going to invite you to let that go for a minute. And with this practice, just try something different. Once you are settled in your body, as I invited you and described, you can allow for yourself to settle onto the chair surface, whatever it may be, and allow then your energy field to drop a bit more down in, because we generally run with our energy fields up and outward, putting all of the emphasis and all of the way to deal with the world in our lives on our shoulders and in our head. And there's other reasons why our defense system, of course, does not want our energy field to come down and in. But for today, just settling into you allows you to feel you more. It allows you to sensate. It allows you to actually experience the transmission of energetics. Because when we kind of go up and out through the third eye and you're out there somewhere, it is not as rich, it is not as filling and fulfilling, it is not as participatory, because you are separating from your human self, your body self, your internal world, or what I refer to as your innerverse. Because when you learn to do this type of practice well, you are able to then go down and within you and your own soul and your people and the precise energetics, the sacred geometrics that you are working with at any given time will take you to the location within the universe, within your universe, that wherein you can receive information, you can receive healing, you can answer yourself, your human self, from your soul self directly, not going out through, various layers. This is, you are down inside of you, and that's what we're shooting for. So please let yourself get settled a bit. And when I do this, by the way, my eyes are closed. This is one of the few ways in which I relate and connect kinesthetically. More often than not, my other multiple ways of receiving information is not that way. So it's always been with the oils kinesthetic, which means that my eyes are closed and it's literally a physical sensation of what bottle is underneath my finger, and then given the characteristics and abilities of that particular oil or oil blend and where it would be going on your body, I then interpret the message. So what they're saying is, this is an oil called Mastrante, that they are saying that when and as we each truly access, listen to, and follow our innate, our own soul's voice, we are then able to physicalize or demonstrate out in the world that which we wish. So that we receive, this is Onycha, O-N-Y-C-H-A, very, very powerful oil, ancient oil. And this would be going on the throat. And what they're saying is that this then allows for the highest, purest frequency of truth to be received by us and to be spoken, should you so choose. And this is an oil called Palo Santo, and this would be going on your third chakra, which is right under where the ribs come together, over the diaphragm. And this is an oil of blessing, so that you come to realize and feel in your sense of yourself that you are a blessing and that you are blessed. And this is an oil called Lemon Myrtle, and that would be going on your essence, bringing forth the nobility and the nobleness of the essence of you, your noble essence. So that you may, this is an oil blend called Balance, so that you may be anchored in equilibrium, balance within you. I tend not to use the word balance because that always implies that we're in a position of trying to balance. Equilibrium is something, is energetically very different. So anchoring into your own equilibrium, this is an oil called Vetiver, and this would be going on your life force point, which is actually on your pubic bone, so that you may then engender and receive life force directly from deep earth energies. And This is an oil blend called Valor, so that you will have that noble courage in your heart. And looks like the last one. This is treasure of the season, to experience the treasures of being able to move in and out of other worlds, dimensions, realms. And we all can do that. There is a structure within us, a couple different structures, that allows for us to actually rotate and pivot, much like a revolving door, to be able to access and move into and receive from other worlds, dimensions, kingdoms, other realities. And you are aligned with, connected into very specific ones from your own soul's expansive experience that you have chosen to help you with the pieces, the projects, the soul projects that you came here to accomplish this time, as well as those particular abilities, talents, knowledge that you have in these other realities to be channeled through you into this, as I said, this huge alchemical container for the evolution of the planet. Any more, guys? Can't quite read this one. I think, yes. It's an oil blend called Faith, and ultimating in faith in your own power and passion and ability to express your creativity. So one last time, real quick, as you access and move from your innate information, your soul's information, it will enable you to receive and thereby speak through and with the highest, purest spiritual frequency, allowing you to come to feel and know that you are a blessing and that you are blessed, experiencing your noble essence, anchoring you into equilibrium, being fed by the life force of the earth, the deep earth, holding noble courage in your heart, being able to feel and open that heart with noble courage, treasuring, realizing the treasure that you hold within you of being able to be a multi-existential being, not just multi-dimensional, because there's worlds and realms and kingdoms and other than just dimensions, and thereby walking a path of faith, or having faith in your own path. So those of you who are energy sensitive, you may be experiencing, even as the flower and plant and tree masters were coming forth and speaking, that the container, the sacred geometrics, have not just strengthened, but they've formed and are continuing to do so. For as you are listening, being present in any way, your people, your guides, teachers, masters, angels, are coming forth, as well as anyone else who is listening currently or will listen in the future. All of those different groups I mentioned, one is working on shifting the earth and particular aspects of humanity imprinted, planted here tens of thousands of years ago. Another group is bringing forward and working with cosmic energetics, particularly those that have come from and through the energy of Egypt and the pyramids. Another very powerful group, very heart-centered group, yet a very self-exploratory. These are very advanced interpersonal working members, bringing forward that prayerfulness, and they too are bringing forward kindness today. And you may or may not have seen notice on Facebook or in a post I put forward that this is the anniversary of Mr. Rogers' passing this week. One of the public figures, and for me, one of the great masters who not only taught and showed, but emanated and lived kindness in all ways, to all things, to all people, reminding, in his way, reminding children not only of their own natural kindness, which it is only as that kindness is taught out of us, or we receive or experience unkindness in so many ways that we disconnect from our own natural care and kindness that is our true nature. Many different examples of that this week coming forward, of animals of a different species being kind and caring towards another species. Dogs to cats, dogs to wolves, saw another. And the unkindness that we exhibit towards wildlife, our earth, which again is not our true nature. And the unkindness that has resulted in the assaults and attack and abuse in our own country. Through the actions of ICE and others, and how that is rallying communities and creating means of kindness, care, concern. So not only is that being transmitted, but it's being called forth in you. Nothing you need do, nothing you need think about, nothing you need focus on. Unless, of course, you'd like to invite or your own internal voice to recall any time you may have been unkind to yourself this week, where you may not have been so kind to another. And put that in this container. We also have some very interesting energetics, earth energetics, and magic energetics coming from the land, the mountains, the ancient nature spirits and magical beings of Switzerland. And again, nothing you need do, nothing you need think about, nothing you need analyze. If in fact you have visited Switzerland or have any connections, whether by blood or otherwise, you may just gently invite that forth. But this particular practice does not entail any work, any effort, any introspection per se, any thinking. Any doing whatsoever. You're simply sitting deeply within you, as deeply as possible, as well as within this container. And allowing all of these energetics, all of the helpers, your people, the ancients who are a council, an intergalactic council that is always present with this work. They oversee a lot of the evolutionary process of this planet. And all of those disparate energies, beings, people's expertise are then interconnected, located, formed by the power of the sacred geometrics running in and through and around and within this container. For optimal cooperation, collaboration, connection, communication, and communing with one another, with you, with all the subject matter, all of the aspects from the micro to the macro that are here through you, through those that I've mentioned. What the world is exploring at this moment. And all you need do is sit, sensate, feel, without analyzing, without naming, without labeling, just feel, just experience whatever there is within you. Maybe even around you. And you may have noticed a congealing of all of those disparate beings, energies, etc., kind of congealing just then. And of course that includes our plant and tree and flower masters, among many others. The energies deep within the Swiss Alps, and the land, and again, you may experience this within your body, your energy field. The more you are able to allow, which means no work, no effort, no doing, the more deeply you tend to sensate and receive the transmission of the exact right energetic healing response for you, for your system. For while this is a collective process, it is also very individuated, very unique to you, for you. be experiencing your first chakra, your anchor point, which is at the top of your pubic hairline, your life force point. Powerful transmissions. To allow you to sit in you. Securely. Earthing you. Which enables you to experience and respond to the world in a wholly different way. And when your energy is upward and attempting to deal with things from your mind and your will and sheer strength, endurance. Right now you have the opportunity to experience these deeper levels of you that automatically interconnect, interweave, interchange, interrelate, with the deeper levels of the earth. The many planets and cosmic configurations coming forward this week. Many of you may be aware of last night and even tonight, the ability to see multiple planets visible to the naked eye. As well as a very unusual sun with no sunspots multiple days this week. Everything on this planet, in this planet, through this planet, beyond this planet, our solar system, our galaxy, this very universe, is all in on this, with us, for us. Through us, as us. Feel the magnitude of you. Feel the depth of you. Feel the width and breadth of you. When you are seated deeply in this internal way, and you can literally sensate that fact. Your way of being in this world and all that's going on and in response to it is very different. Hopefully you are experiencing that. That you really can't be flustered or thrown off your equilibrium when you're sitting in this, in you. And I encourage you to come back frequently and drop in once again. Nothing you need do, nothing you need know. Just allow the energy coming through my voice, the transmission. The words are unimportant. What is being transmitted, what your system is responding to, what you are feeling and taking in. And the more frequently you use this as a means of dropping deeply into and sitting in your seat, so to speak, and you feel the allness of you and the greater all throughout this entire universe and all the way down to the tiniest of insects and snowflakes. It allows the camera to be pulled back and see that this is merely one of countless existences and that you have choice, bringing freedom, not because you're distancing from this reality, but because you come to experience, sensate, know deep within you the level of free will, sovereignty, and choice of you as a soul to be here now, to explore what you came to explore, and expand and widen widen your soul. You are, as always, welcome to stay in this energy as long as you so choose, because of the sacred geometrics, because of the way this container was developed throughout the week and even unto today. You will be completely integrated and consolidated when you come out. You won't be in la la land or having to separate from yourself, but instead your human and spiritual self will then be interacting with this world. And again, it will be posted here, but I am going to also put the recording on my YouTube channel, A Healer's Universe. And I encourage you to go there. I will make a note there of where the actual practice begins, so that you can just go there, hear the message from the oils, and drop in. The more you do so, the more you are anchored into you, sitting deeply in your seat, in equilibrium, and all the lovely things that the tree and flower and plant masters reminded us of. And please know that, as always, it is with the deepest of honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on this planet. Until next time.